Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the Critic Who's a Cynic and welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about this story. This broke yesterday, probably late afternoon to the evening, which is why I wasn't able to cover it myself on a video, but I wanted to cover it today because I do think there's a lot of things to say about it. And as you can see on screen, this is from TheVerge.com, and it says Star Wars Episode 9 will reportedly feature Billy Dee Williams as Lando Calrissian. Now I know we have a lot of thoughts on this because, and as this article is going to kind of get into, that we've been wanting this for a while, at least when we knew that Star Wars was going to be rebooted. The problem, though, is with the current state of Star Wars, this just feels like they are trying to do fan service to try and bring people back in with Episode 9 without actually making any major changes, and I think that's very problematic going forward. But let's actually dive into the article, and then I'll talk about that stuff as we begin. So this is written by Brian Bishop over at TheVerge.com. So we see, it says, last week word broke that J.J. Abrams had cast the Americans Keri Russell in his upcoming Star Wars 9 film. And also remember that with this casting, a lot of people are speculating maybe this is Mara Jade, maybe this might be another extended universe character, and I know that a lot of people are not really wanting to see that. The majority of the comments are very skeptical about that because a lot of people are really afraid that, yeah, the name of the character that Keri Russell might play might be Mara Jade, it might be one of those characters, but she won't actually be them. She will not actually be the character, and it'll just be, again, trying to put fan service out there just with the name only, but not actually portraying the character in the correct way. Same thing, it seems, is going to be happening with this character for Lando with Billy Dee Williams. So it says, according to The Hollywood Reporter, another actor has joined the project as well. Billy Dee Williams as Lando Calrissian. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, Billy Dee Williams played the original Lando Calrissian in the 1980 film, and he was one that I feel like a lot of people liked. I know that I really like Billy Dee Williams. I think that he's a really talented actor. I think that he is Lando to me. Like, everything that happened with Donald Glover recently, he was not Lando. I mean, also, when you had John Kasdan come out and say, oh, Lando is pansexual, it's like, okay, well, he started to become known as Pando because that's pretty much what he was. It's like, you're not Lando Calrissian, you are just some cheap carbon copy SJW knockoff that no one wants to see. Because I remember when Solo first came out, there were all these rumors and speculations about, oh, the best part of the movie is Lando Calrissian. Now all this was coming, of course, from media show sites, and so that, oh, Lando was fantastic, and oh, there's rumors now of a Lando Solo film. And then all of a sudden the box office started to come in, tell a very different story and narrative, and all of a sudden those stories were just dropped completely. And I think it's very interesting that when you go back and look, I would love for someone, I might even do it myself, but I would love for someone to actually go back in time to, like, not go back in time, but go back in the time of the media and, like, just go from article to article, from story to story, from narrative to narrative, just to see how much the story has changed since Solo came out, how much the story has changed since all of this backlash from the Phantom Menace has really started. And I think that it would be really interesting to see that. I really think it'd be interesting to see and point out just the pure hypocrisy of the media, because I remember very clearly that was the story that was being told, was that Lando's character was awesome in Solo Star Wars story, and that it was so awesome that he's probably going to be given his own Solo story. And then the box office numbers came in, told a very different story because the fans actually spoke up. The fans' voice was finally heard. Of course, it hasn't been acknowledged at this point because anytime any major publication talks about it, they say the supposed fan backlash, not even acknowledging that it actually exists, even though anyone with a brain or common sense can see, wait a minute, this is the first Star Wars film to lose money. This is the lowest grossing Star Wars film of all time. Why is that the case? And they try and come up with every excuse in the book. Oh, it's because it came out in May. It's because it had terrible marketing. And then you actually look at it and you say, the marketing wasn't as bad as any of the other films that have really come out so far. Other Star Wars films have come out in May and have not had similar problems. So what's the big difference? Oh, wait, that's right. We have, again, a mediocre film, which we've gotten before with Star Wars. I mean, go back, I would say that the prequels were mediocre films, but at least those made a profit. At least those actually made money, unlike Solo, which is not. So there's something else going on here. And what's the biggest difference? Oh, wait, that's right. The backlash from The Last Jedi, now moving from that film onto the future Star Wars projects. Because remember, that movie made $1.3 billion, which again is a lot. It made a profit, but that's $700 million less than The Force Awakens. And now we go to the next film. 6 months later, we get Solo, Star Wars story, and guess what? Now it's losing $200 million at least at the box office. It possibly could be more by the end of its run, because also we don't know what the actual production budget was. We're just pretty much guessing at this point, and around $500 million for both the production budget and the marketing cost is a pretty fair estimate. It could even be more than that, but we don't know because Disney's not going to release those numbers to us because they don't want us to know just how bad of a bomb Solo actually is. And if they think that that is not going to continue on with Episode 9, they've got another thing coming. Now, am I saying that there's not enough casual Star Wars fans out there to make the film make money? No. I really do think that At this point in time, it's going to break even, maybe make a turn a little profit, but I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. Like, I'm leaning more towards Batman v Superman numbers, where it made roughly $800 million, so turned a profit, but definitely not as big as it should have been. And I think that the lower range at this point would be Justice League, where it's like $650 million. Again, I've said that several times before in other videos, but I think it's very important nonetheless. But that's the reason why this story is so important. That's the reason why this story, to me, says a lot, because it, to me, seems like they are yet to, because the one thing we haven't heard from Lucasfilm is we denounce everything that people like Chuck Wendig, Ryan Johnson are saying about the fans. Again, that would be one great PR strategy is, hey, let's just say, hey, we do not support what is being said. We love our fans. We love the fan base. We're going to do everything that we can to make the fans happy, because I'm sorry, no matter what franchise you're a part of, no matter what company you're a part of, you want to make your fans happy. That is business 101. If you want someone to buy your product, you don't attack them, you don't minimize them, and you don't try and just totally demoralize anything that they're trying to do. That's just stupid. That's not good business strategy. I feel like that's business 101, and I wasn't even a business major, but I'm pretty sure that they teach you, hey, you want to make your customers as happy as you possibly can without, affecting the product in a negative way. But guess what they're doing? They are affecting the product in a negative way and also at the same time attacking the fans. So literally it's a double effect of just being totally stupid on a business level. And this to me seems like one of those things, because guess what? People were asking for Lando before Solo came out, and they totally ruined Lando's character, and also before Last Jedi came out. People were saying, I wonder why they're not bringing him back for episode 7 or even episode 8. But now that episode 8's come out, and now especially that Solo has come out, and Lando Calrissian's character has essentially been destroyed, because now he's just this off-kilter pansexual-esque person, no one really wants to see that, especially if Billy D. Williams is asked by the director to keep up with that. So that's, to me, what's going to be interesting. Not just them bringing Billy D. Williams in, because to me, that just seems like a quick try at a cash grab with someone who is one of the lower characters in the stories. Like, again, I like Billy D. Williams, but if you're thinking that this is the guy that's going to bring in hundreds of millions of dollars for you, that's not the case. Those people are now gone. Those characters are now gone because you've either killed them off, or unfortunately in the case of Carrie Fisher, she's passed away. Again, I like Billy D. Williams, and I would love to see him in this universe again, but not under the current circumstances. Again, I don't want to see this character just used just to do, this very cheap fan service, when in reality, they're ignoring the fans altogether. Again, they have not said anything about things that Ryan Johnson or Chuck Wendig or Pablo Hidalgo, any of those people have said. They have not fired Kathleen Kennedy, who made one of the worst financial decisions of her career, if almost anyone's career, it seems, recently. The recent memory I can think of for Disney as far as being a financial just catastrophe was John Carter. I mean, that movie lost so much money, but Solo has now lost $200 million at least. So the fact that they have not even acknowledged that in the public, to me, is them not really, not really trying to guarantee themselves to have a production that's going to make money in the future. And this, to me, is just cheap. It's cheap fan service. So let's just go on with this article. It says, Williams originally joined the franchise back in 1980 in The Empire Strikes Back. Calrissian, a smuggler and friend of Harrison Ford's Han Solo, quickly became a fan favorite. The character was recently brought back on the screen in a younger iteration by Donald Glover, which a lot of people criticize and just did not like because, apparently he's pansexual now, which makes no sense. In Solo, a Star Wars Story, that movie left the door open for its own sequels and potentially even a Glover-led Lando spinoff. However, Solo failed to meet box office expectations. That is definitely spinning it a little bit, with Lucasfilm reportedly deciding to put development on all of its standalone films on hold while attention turned to Abrams' film. Again, I think that that's really kind of keeping things back, because keeping this in mind, it didn't just not meet expectations. It lost $200 million. Now, again, a lot of people try and say, oh, well, it's making billions of dollars in every other area, but that doesn't change the fact that you're still losing money on a film that should be making money. Again, when we look to what any stockholder would say, when you look to any executive that is probably a part of Lucasfilm, they're probably scratching their head saying, why are we still going in this direction? Why are we going in a direction that's probably going to cost us money in a property, in an IP that really should do nothing else but make money? This film really, in a very clear way, showed you can't just throw Star Wars on a title and expect people to go out and see it. You just can't do that anymore. You need to have a good film, but also you need to listen to the fans. You need to be able to give actual true fan service, not just, oh, we're going to keep doing the nonsense that we're doing, but hey, we're going to throw Billy D. Williams at you. Again, nothing against Billy D. Williams, and also I agree, Lando is definitely a fan favorite. I like Lando Calrissian myself, but the original Lando, not the one who's been destroyed. So not only are they doing cheap fan service, but also the character of Lando has essentially been destroyed by Donald Glover's portrayal and all of the media coverage and all of the talk from, John Kasdan about him being a pansexual, because it's just not necessary. Why is that SJW nonsense being thrown into this universe? It just doesn't fit. This is a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. So why are we putting modern American politics into these films? It makes no sense from a business standpoint, and yet they're doing it anyway. So this is just really starting to frustrate me. And again, at least The Verge is not going too spinny as other articles have, but to me, just saying failed to meet box office expectations alone, that right there, that is just, to me, disingenuous, because this is a huge bomb of a film, and that's why I don't think Billy Dee's portrayal is going to bring in much money for this film, unless they make some other major changes that show that they're actually listening to the fans. For example, just coming out, it's so simple, put out a press statement saying, we denounce anything that's being said against the fans, we love our fans, etc. They could easily say that, and it would take no time at all, but guess what? They haven't done it yet. They haven't done it yet. What does that mean to us? It means, okay, so you are essentially doubling down on what you're doing, and guess what? We're going to double down on what we're doing, which is not going to support your films either by boycotting the films, as I know a lot of people have, or in my case, buying a ticket to another film and then going to see it, since no one's going to go see them anywhere, at least not in the numbers that they used to be, and then I'll just go and see it in that way. And guess what? You're not going to get any of my money. You're not going to get any of the people who are boycotting its money either, and there are so many of us who feel this way. So if you think that Solo was just a one-off, if you think Solo was just something that was a fluke, just wait till episode 9 if you keep going the direction that you can, because I guarantee you Billy D. Williams will not be enough. Again, I like Billy D. Williams, but he is not enough. All right, let's finish this article. It says, while the casting of Williams will no doubt be exciting for fans just out of sheer nostalgia, not anymore. That was destroyed by Solo. I mean, there might be some people who are excited to see Billy D. Williams back, but I don't think anyone at this point is going to want to see that character continued. If they decide we're going to honor that Lando Calrissian as canon and then want Billy D. Williams to portray the character in the same way. If they do that, that is going to be a huge problem for them. It also potentially offers a solution to some of the emotional loose ends Star Wars finds itself facing. Han Solo was killed in The Force Awakens and Luke Skywalker died in The Last Jedi, which in theory set up Episode 9 to focus largely on General Leia Organa, but the unexpected death of Carrie Fisher, however, took that option off the table, leaving the franchise without any elder stewards. But those are the big three. Those are the three that brought people back to the Star Wars universe. As I said before, if you tried to run a film without any mention of Luke Skywalker or Leia or Han Solo, you would not get the numbers that you're getting right now, because most people are coming back to this franchise because they're Star Wars fans, because they love the original trilogy. And so to say that Lando is going to be enough, or at least to insinuate that it's going to be enough, is just not thinking in logical, realistic terms. Again, I do like Billy D. Williams, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough to bring people back as the big three would. So I don't think that this is definitely the direction that they want to be going in if they continue to move in the direction that they are. It says Calrissian could end up serving as an unlikely bit of connective tissue, giving characters like Rey, Finn, and Poe a tether to the events of the original films. Well, they kind of destroyed that with The Last Jedi. They really destroyed. They took everything that was being set up in The Force Awakens and also everything that had been prior set up in the original trilogy and said, no, screw all that. We're going to subvert everyone's expectations, but in the process also destroy the fandom, because really they blew it up. I mean, just look at the fandom now. They say, the media tries to say, oh, it's toxic and, oh, it's a bunch of racist white man babies in their mom's basements, when it's nothing further from the truth. I mean, it's anything further, that's so far from the truth of what's actually happening. Again, just look at, I say this all the time, that Star Wars girl, Ivan Ortega, Jesse Milestone, Geeks and Gamers, World Class BSers, so many, Jeff Cotto. I mean, so many people. I know I'm leaving so many other names out, but so many of us are all from different backgrounds that just that whole statement doesn't make any sense and does not work in reality. And so for them to think that this is going to be enough to tie those characters together to the original trilogy, it's not going to be enough, especially since, it would have already been thin before Solo came out. But now that Solo is out, and now that you've essentially destroyed Lando Calrissian's character with the Pando nonsense, I'm sorry, but you've made it worse now because of all that stuff going on. All right, and finishes saying, while also responding to the dual loss of Leia and Han in the truly personal way, Star Wars Episode 9 is scheduled for release December 20th, 2019. So guys, is Billy D. Williams, answer this question in the comments, is Billy D. Williams enough for you to come back to this franchise? Please let me know that, because I would like to see just how many people think this casting choice is actually going to bring them back to the theaters, because I guarantee this, most people in my comments are going to say, no, this is not enough. You said it exactly right. They ruined his character in Solo: Star Wars Story, and guess what? We like Billy D. Williams as a person. We like him as an actor. We liked him in the original Empire Strikes Back film, but guess what? It's not enough for us to go back to the theaters and to forget every attack and everything that's been done by Lucasfilm and all of their cronies in the media. So that's just my take on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe if you haven't done so already. I would greatly appreciate that. I'm not going to have any videos over the next couple days because I'm going to be in Chicago going to Six Flags, and I'm very excited for that. I love love roller coasters. So please follow me on Twitter at Odin's Movie Blog to find any updates on that. I'll probably send some videos of some roller coasters and some updates in that effect. And I am going to try possibly to do live streams while I'm up in Chicago. I can't guarantee it since I don't know my Wi-Fi speed is going to be, but just keep out for that. I'm going to be posting those on Twitter, and so just keep up with that. So have a great day, guys. I love y'all so much. Y'all are amazing, and as always, God bless.